Do-Rag Wisdom here, folks, and welcome to Earthdate Y2k19.02.11. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how to prepare for Putin's war machine, how to recognize Putin's war machine. I have no doubt that our country is at war now. Forget about Afghanistan and Iraq and Yemen. I have no doubt that our country is at war now. An internal war against a traitorous, racist, hair monster creep named Trump, who has really been installed by the lot of shit Putin to be a war machine, like a Martian war machine, dedicated to destroying everything that the USA is supposed to stand for. If you believe that it is going to be easy to get rid of the racist hair monster, then think again. So finally, thanks to the Russian superiority in computer internet technology, thanks to the fact that they take education in their country seriously, they have installed an enemy into our White House. A war machine dedicated to our destruction. Our response must be swift and destructive to the means by which these enemies have attacked us. The first thing we must do is stop deluding ourselves and then hunker down for the battles ahead. I don't want to see my free country fall into the hands of Russian scumbags, criminal oligarchs. You want this to be the Goodfellas country? The mobster country? You want this entire planet to be like that Star Trek episode, A Piece of the Action, which I featured a while ago? Gangster run society. Who would have thought about it? Maybe they watched that episode and got the idea from there. Again, I don't want to see my free country fall into the hands of the Russian scumbag criminal oligarchs. We're fighting for the life of our country. I mean, the Russians took this idea of cyberspace, computer technology, virtual reality, the weaponizing of computer systems. They took it very seriously. And their education system, they're creating a whole new generation of people, of geniuses who are going to come up and create even more technology that could screw us all up, that can mess us up. The new war, my friends, is on the technological front, the cyberspace front. I've read reports, whether true or not, and I hope they're not fake news, but I've gotten these reports that these bastards have the capability, both the Russians, the Putinists, the Chinese, the totalitarian Chinese government, they have the capability to infiltrate our grid, our cyberspace. We better have manual override in case something like that happens, to prepare if something like that happens. We have an enemy in our White House. Let's wake up once and for all. I'm not trying to sound paranoid. I'm not trying to create fake news. We have an enemy. Manchurian candidate, Putinian candidate, Kremlinian candidate, totalitarian candidate in the holy of holies of our democratic republic. Not the total ruler, and we don't need an enemy in there. And we do, and we must wake up to it. We must realize it. We're on life support, our country, and we can still save it if we wake up together like we did last November, and we have to sweep this Trumpist party out. We must hunker down and get prepared for the battles ahead. We must control the message that building walls and denigrating immigrants, that's separating children from parents and locking people up in cages and children up in cages, is anti-American. Only totalitarian countries build walls. Only totalitarian countries have human rights abuses. Furthermore, we must demand the creep in charge declare a true emergency that addresses the oncoming locomotive, the runaway train of climate change that our children and their children are going to have to deal with. We must get involved. We must call and write our representatives, and we must, if we can, run for office ourselves. We can do it. At least some of us can. We must read, read, read. Totalitarians do not like reading. They do not like books. They burn them. Keep your mind alive and functioning by reading as much as you can. Remember, the Putin war machine in our White House, the hair monster, racist, birther bastard Trump does not read. And if the President of the USA does not read, what kind of role model is that for our children and for the future of this country? Read too your favorite newspapers. Watch your favorite pundits. Get prepared for the next possible shutdown. Get prepared for the next possible shutdown. Shutting down the government is just one way the Putin war machine is inflicting harm on us. No other president ever did such a thing as close a government down over nothing. If he closes the government again, have a massive street demonstration all over the country. Have militant, peaceful protests all over this country. Wear vests like they did in France. Except don't burn everything or break everybody's place or whatever. You fight that way, peacefully, all over our country. If the hair monster war machine shuts down our government, absolutely no one should go to work. Everyone should be on strike. Everyone. There must be a national, all-out strike against the enemy administration. All out. He can't be allowed to pull this crap again. He is doing the bidding of his boss. He is being Putin's war machine. Make sure, and I hate to talk about this, but make sure you stockpile your legal firearms. The worst case scenario is already in force. We already have Putin's puppet in our government, along with his many enablers. When the Russian oligarchs come to take over, they should be greeted with the new Minute People, formerly known as Minutemen. The new Minute People, armed to the teeth and ready to inflict as much pain on these creeps, on these bastards that we're at war with. We're at war with these Putinist Russian creeps. We must inflict pain on them as much as possible to drive them out and into the bloody pit of death. In the meantime, get ready for the next possible shutdown and enter this battle with a clear head. An enemy is in our White House. Deluding ourselves that it is otherwise is a fatal mistake. If Putin's war machine racist puppet Trump closes our government again, we must get so up in their faces, so close in the Putinist slime's faces, that we break their fucking traitorous jaws!